2022 was a crazy strong year for games. This was the year when the games industry really started climbing out of that pandemic-shaped rut it'd been stuck in, so the 9th generation of consoles could finally begin. After beginning 2 years ago. Very exciting that the PlayStation 5 has become, quote, almost easy to buy. With this new year just starting out, I thought I'd take a look back through the last 365 days and... What's that? Wait, what the fuck? It's May? It's May already? Oh fuck doing an intro, we don't have time for this shit, why am I even making this video? Sonic Frontiers is everything that everyone has ever wanted from every Sonic game. The sense of momentum, flawless. The replayable levels, immense. The suite of abilities, better than anything I've hold on a second. Oof. I'm sorry guys, I got confused. I'm actually talking about Spark 3. So as you can see, this game is basically Sonic. This is just Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I think there's legal precedent in here somewhere, but this talented indie dev thought the thought that no one at Sega has thought to think, and that is, how do you make Sonic good? Throw Sonic in the fucking dumpster, that's step one. Then you make a new Sonic, and sprinkle a little DMC in that bitch. That's some good eats. Spark 3 isn't open world like Frontiers, but maybe Sonic didn't need to be open world. Everything doesn't need to be open world. Maybe what Sonic really needs is a bullet to the head on live television. As someone who's never been a huge fan of Sonic games outside of the one good one, pause. I am making jokes. I know there are good Sonic games. Do not write a comment. Spark 3 makes me feel how I believe Sonic fans feel when they play Sonic games. What Sonic fans see in the series, I miss. But I see it here, and it looks fucking good. The sense of speed and momentum is unmatched, even by the OG. The open level design is stellar with these huge tracts of level around you waiting to be explored. The player's toolset is perfectly calibrated for this style of game in a way that I've never seen Sonic truly manage in 3D, and the story... I don't really know what's going on here actually, so I think Sonic fans should probably be satisfied. Only thing missing now is a Chow Garden. Wow, I forgot you could just murder-suicide your chows. We began today's list with a Sonic game without Sonic, so let's move to a gambling game without gambling. Let me introduce you to Vampire Survivors. Yes, Vampire Survivors looks like the kind of product that would rob you blind and leave you in a gutter, but it is in fact a one-time charge game that is as addictive as a fat sack of crack. This is because the dev did in fact used to make gambling games, but turned coat and used his powers for good. Or as good as you can claim a game to be if it causes me to not eat or drink for 36 straight hours. Don't play Vampire Survivors. I'm serious. I'm trying to help you. The alien incarnation of Bill Murray on morphine returns to put the probe in reprobate with Destroy All Humans 2, an immaculately faithful retelling and rebuilding of the 2006 classic? It's classic to me at least. This remake-will is a story about extraterrestrials that skips over the whole are we alone in the universe mystery and asks the more compelling question of, what if aliens were sex perverts?
Hey Nat, if I said you had a great body, would you hold it again?
I like you, Crypto, but I will neuter you if I have to.
Each line out of this bobble-headed bastard is more lascivious than the last, as Crypto's partner Natalia races to stop an extinction-level event while Crypto tries to get in her tights so he can bust some extinction-level nuts. Can this game be offensive? Yes. Do I care? No. Like, this is the game's Russia level. Come on, that's funny. I'm sorry, I just can't find it in myself to be offended by this complete and total fucking schlock. It's an alien. He's got big throbbing pustules on his egg-shaped head. You shoot guns up people's buttholes. This is the magic of video games. In 2006. Boy, does this bring me back. Playing this game makes me recall others of the era, like games like Prince of Persia 2, a story that begins with center frame booty before the woman attached to that booty slices the prince and he straight up yells, "You bitch!" God damn. Prince of Persia, the incel within. The point I'm diluting with all these tangents is that Destroy All Humans 2 made me laugh, and I appreciate that.
You cannot stop revolution!
But aside from the chortles, chuckles, giggles, and snorts this game supplies, the gameplay is also really fucking solid. The PS2 style action is given a fresh coat of paint as well as additional abilities and upgrades. It comes with split-screen multiplayer, and man, does it look fan-fucking-tastic. Watch the way his pustules throb. In an era of homogenized games without any real identity, without much to say, Destroy All Humans does have something to say. And that something is, fuck all y'all. Goat Simulator 3 is a $30 shitpost, but turns out it's the highest quality shitpost of all time, so that's actually quite a bargain. As you might be able to tell from the gameplay being showcased on screen, this sequel to 2014's surprise hit follows in the hoof steps of its predecessor by setting a new bar in the genre of WFCs, or who fucking cares games. It sits right up there with the greats of the genre like Saints Row 4, Octodad, and Cyberpunk. Despite what may appear to be a joke game filled with random bullshit for bullshit's sake, there is true genius to be found in the open world design of Goat Simulator 3. The world is so dense. Behind every corner there's a hidden joke, a surprise, or a challenge, one that will more often than not reward you with another joke or surprise or tangible gameplay addition, such as rocket boots, insert game reference here, or a tactically mounted elderly woman who shoots balls in people's faces. The whole thing is a love letter to open world games, while also being hate mail. Or maybe it's just spam. This game raised the bar of WFCs by putting genuine effort into an open world that was more enticing to explore than just about any other straight-faced open world game I played in 2022. The first 4 or 5 hours spent with this game were a fucking roller coaster, to say the least. On top of that, it looks and feels great to play, as it's packed with every plagiarized traversal mechanic conceived in the last 3 decades. You got Mario's triple jump, you can wall run, you can bounce on trampolines, grind rails, steal cars, fly, boost, ragdoll around like a dipshit. Moving through this world is always fun and funky and satisfactory. If the team over at Coffee Stain put their minds to a slightly more, real open world game that expanded upon the innovative and rapturous air of joyous abandon that GOAT 3 cultivates, I honestly believe it could be the best open world game of the year. I have a confession to make. There's no easy way around it, so I guess I just gotta say it. I don't like Star Wars. I think I might hate Star Wars. Do you know how good a video game has to be to make me like Star Wars? LEGO TM Star Wars TM: The Skywalker Saga Galactic Edition has me nostalgic for a franchise I don't even like. I didn't even fucking finish that game with the Joker in it. Much like Spark 3, playing Disney's Skywalker's The Star Wars LEGO story makes me feel like I'm viewing Star Wars through the lens of people who actually enjoy this goofy shit. This is a version of the brand that caters to me. It's Star Wars by way of Looney Tunes, self-aware, hilarious, and stupid.
Yes, I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father. Which reminds me.
How did my father die?
Sometimes it seems like this game actually hates Star Wars more than I do, which is appreciated.
I thought most of this thing would have crashed onto the forest moon. But I guess I don't know enough about physics.
Like, damn, that's just mean. J.J. Abrams just got heartburn somewhere. I love how they just beat the fucking shit out of Jar Jar in every cutscene they can. They know their audience. It's very gratifying. As is the massive array of worlds, weapons, and playable characters at your fingertips. Disney's LucasArts LEGO's Star Wars: The Star Wars Skywalker Saga comes equipped with the largest assortment of characters yet. Of course, allowing you to play as classic characters like Luke, Han, and Leia, but there's also more obscure favorites on display. Ones no less beloved by the fans, such as Bing Bong Borfan, Hogan Monologongus, Sleeve McDykel, Shibidabadubadaba, Live Claude Reaction, Anti-Semitism, and of course, Glup Shitto. That's all I gotta say about that! Our number 5 entry today is an action game with the unique setting of an American Wild West overrun with supernatural elements. Weird West. Wait, this footage doesn't look right. It's Blood West, actually, is what I'm talking about. An action game with the unique setting of a paranormal Hard West is our number 5 entry today. This is the wrong game again. Holy fuck, how many fucking magical cowboys? Evil West is our number 5. Evil West is an action game with the once unique setting of a paranormal Wild West, the fourth to do it this year alone. And let me tell you, it's also the very best Xbox 360 game you'll play in 2022. It truly does remind me of a more polished and considered version of bygone gems like Splatterhouse. And I know there are a couple people out there that just went, Stop! And ran off to their local internet to buy this shit, but let me also tack on this extra descriptor if you're not sold yet. Evil West is also the best Hellboy game ever made. Giant right hand? Check. OP revolver? Check. Kills beasts for a secretive yet government-sanctioned American monster hunting agency? This is a fucking Hellboy game. Minus like 200 years. And what a Hellboy game Evil West is, as it comes strapped with one of the most standout and satisfying combat systems of the year that takes God of War Ragnarok and makes it for cool people. Evil West is actually a bit closer to the original God of War in spirit and design philosophy to my eyes, despite retaining the 2018 reboot's over-the-shoulder perspective, awkward I'ma squeeze through this rock loading screen animations, and puzzles with 500,000 quotation marks. I can't see what to do. I must walk here and shoot something. I have done it! Luckily, the puzzles here are so dirt fucking simple, even more so than God of War, that the devs didn't feel the need to force a character to monologue at you until you finish them, like, maybe I should look up. You know, I've been thinking a lot about looking upwards lately. I read a fact that dogs can't look up. Did you know? Oh my god, you finally figured it out. I could shut the fuck up. I could talk all day and night about Evil West's pulpy story of Jesse Rentier and the Institute of Ugly Ass Faces that he works for. I could talk about the game's smooth and satisfying upgrade progression, or my desperate desire to see a sequel featuring 2 gauntlets and a jump button, but in the end, it comes down to this. No other game this year lets you parry a giant Batman, punch the fucking shit out of him, blast him with a 10 gauge, stun him with the holy light of Jesus, punch the fucking shit out of him, throw a stick of dynamite at his face, dodge away, run up, bop him, then make him eat a whole ass shotgun. That's Evil West, baby. Everybody's been shooting goo over this thing since the moment it released, which makes sense, because when it released, I released. That's a cum joke. A whole new world of whispering weirdos and an expanded suite of gameplay mechanics offered countless new possibilities and differences from the previous From Software Souls titles. You can jump, you can sneak, you can touch grass, Grace, and of course, you can get fucked in your asshole. That bit's dead same. On the topic of getting gaped by these games, though, I really do admire how From Software finally committed to making a Souls game that normal humans could play. Sekiro sort of seemed like it was their last hurrah in terms of extreme punishing difficulty, at least for the time being, because that was like one of the hardest games I've ever played. The absolute hyper-fixation required to even finish a boss fight in Shadows Die Twice was approaching insanity near the end, and I for one do appreciate that they've made things more accessible and pumped the brakes after pulling a Charlie Kelly back in 2018.
Guys, why aren't the brakes working?
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
Accessibility didn't just come to Elden Ring in gameplay form, though. The story here is also less obtuse and a tad lighter in tone than its predecessors. From the moment this game lambasted me for having 0 hoes, I knew I was in for something special. Sure, there's still characters like a guy who lives in the sewer and eats shit and fucks corpses, but there's also a very cute jellyfish. The game features Epona, the blacksmith is a friendly goblin, there's a lady in your base that gives you hugs, and of course they fucking curse you! The only reason this game isn't higher on today's list, quite honestly, is just because I'm a little tired of this whole Souls shtick. Some very welcome changes are brought to the table with Elden Ring, but this is the 5th time I've seen this company tackle the crumbling Fantasy Kingdom aesthetic, and despite the plain fact that there were moments when I looked over the lands between and thought to myself, am I playing one of the greatest games ever made? In the end, I'd still rank it below Dark Souls and Bloodborne, 2 of my absolute favorites of all time. I mean, I got this fucking tattoo. I think you can tell I like Bloodborne. Elden Ring is a great game, no doubt about it. But I am hoping whatever we get next from is a little more unexpected than, oh no! The royals of this world have done something bad and they don't care about the peasants! I already made a video about Session. There's a thing in the corner, it's opening up right now. It'll stay on the screen for about 5 seconds. Just go watch that video. Proteus is the video game version of this sound. Here is some gameplay. I rest my case. I think I'd be a great lawyer. I'd be like that OJ dude. I'd just come up with a bunch of cool ass tricks. Proteus is rage. Proteus is death. Proteus is, well, it's Doom. It's obviously Doom. 2 for 2 on legally distinct sequels this year. This is basically the Doom 2016 sequel I wanted, but made in 2022. But made in 1996. As you can see, Proteus's business is killing, and Proteus is making a killing because business is good, which is a no really elaborate way of saying it's awesome to murder things in this game, which is all that you do. Turns out that's all you need if you want to make one of the greatest shooters of the past decade. Like Doom 2016, Proteus is all about switching off that big scary thinking box in your head and turning the red planet redder as you blast through demons and blue demons alike. See, it's not Doom. Doom doesn't have blue demons. Proteus has a small orphanage of weapons to adopt, all of which kick and scream and shout through the night like the children that this metaphor should tie back into somehow. The arsenal has 3 shotguns, one of which is 2 shotguns stacked on top of each other. You should buy Proteus. The level design is top notch as well, like the toppest of notches. Descent, Space Station, Progenitor, fucking Progenitor, man, these are levels that are worth studying. Levels to be taught in classes. To reiterate, you should buy Proteus. Bone Lab is only about 50% as mind-blowing a mindfuck as Boneworks was, but even at that limited capacity, it's still superior to 99% of other VR titles on digital shelves today. Although, weirdly, it feels more like a tech demo than the game that was constantly joking about being a tech demo. While the sandboxy nature of Bone Lab was interesting, I eagerly await SLZ's return to campaign-focused, ImSim-reminiscent game design with more branching level work and more consistently creative and evocative set pieces. But until then, here's Jimmy's giant hand! You can play as a short man. You can play as a long man. You can play as a... This is doing something to me. I don't know what this is doing to me. Dying Light 2 is a game I've talked about for 1 hour and 13 minutes already. More like 1 hour and 12 minutes aside from the tangent on thick clown ass. I don't know who this woman is, but if you're out there, here is my credit card number and my driver's license and my social security number. Hell Pie is a perverse platformer that feels like the result of torturing a hat and time in hell for a couple of lifetimes. It's rude, it's crude, but it's also kind of cute. Plus it's got this dope-ass grapple baby. You grapple around with a baby. Reminds me a lot of that old PS2 game Whiplash. Sniper Elite 5 hails the return of the voice of Cortez from Time Splitters as Carl Fairburn, or as the Germans call him, the Dick Sniper. Sniper Elite 5 doesn't push the boundaries of the stealth genre, but with the fields looking as barren as they are these days, just the fact that it exists means it's almost single-handedly holding the AAA stealth genre on its shoulders like motherfucking Atlas. And for that alone, it's worth a mention. Yes, I know Hitman exists too. Hitman is great. Shut up! Sniper Elite 5 is a very, very fun stealth game, which makes sense with it being the 5th one and all. They've made the same game 5 times, so I'd hope it'd be good. Pick it up if you need that Splinter Cell or Metal Gear fix in your life, or if you just love exploding Nazi testicles. It is America's favorite pastime, after all. Or at least it should be. Little Gator Game is a game about a little gator. He wants to hang out with his sister, but she's too caught up being an adult to play with them anymore, and that's very sad. Luckily, the little gator has a little plan to concoct an adventure so adventurous that you'll have to play with him eventually. And he keeps texting her pictures of him having fun while he does so. It's fucking adorable. You run around an island, and you hit things, and you make friends. There's no fail conditions. It's gorgeous. It's sweet. Buy it. Signalis is a Resident Evil plus Silent Hill, but you're looking at it from a bit further away. Also, if you mixed in some great multimedia elements, like some anime cutscenes alongside some 3D cutscenes, intricately detailed puzzles, and some other stuff that I don't want to spoil for you. It's a very affecting horror experience built on the foundations of some stunning world building. And although it takes a while to get going, when it does, it really fucking does. You owe it to yourself to check this one out if you consider yourself even somewhat of a horror fan. Gungrave Gore has you playing as Shadow the Hedgehog's Mansona Grave, who lugs around his iconic 10-ton compensation complex as he sets off on a journey to go somewhere and do something. I'm definitely supposed to know what's going on right now. God of War Ragnarok is a game I have many thoughts on, so much so that it took way too long to organize them and just gave up. So all I'm gonna say is, it's aight. I like 2018 more. Sifu? More like Sifu. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sifu kicks ass. My ass, specifically. There are buffet games abound in today's market. you can't kick an ottoman without hitting a game that offers a comically large open world with 500 hours of gameplay. And while those products have their place, sometimes you want a game that picks one thing and does it to perfection. Sometimes you just want to take a motherfucker and slap the shit out of him. Even though in reality, things in Sifu more often than not end up like,
well, not that yet. Which one of y'all kicked me?
So as you might have gathered by this point, Sifu is a martial arts game that takes the concept of the 3D beat 'em up and makes it the most complicated shit you've ever seen. What Primer is to time travel movies, Sifu is to beat 'em ups. It is the final form of the formula. This game is exclusively about beating the sense out of people while getting the youth beaten out of you. A living embodiment of the phrase,
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
There's a light dusting of story distributed across the meat of the combat arenas, but that's not what this is about. It is first and foremost a feast of fists. On the menu tonight is a knuckle sandwich with a side of that 3-piece biscuit. Oh, you think you're so tough.
I beat Sekiro. I beat Dark Souls. This is gonna be a piece of...
I swear to fuck, I aged in real life playing this game. I am now 72 years old. My bones don't work, my knees are knobbly, my eyes don't see, my nose don't smell, I got gangrene, I got sickle cell, I got poles in my head, I got magnets in my feet. In essence, Sifu is the closest we've ever come to a fully realized, playable martial arts movie. And it is fucking glorious. When you're hands-on with the game, everything clicks together perfectly, and any rough edges you might find become complete non-factors as your mind moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour doing complex combat equations to the point where every punch feels like a victory. Every successful dodge and parry makes you feel like you're gaining ground against the game as you steadily become a Sifu of Sifu. Incredible game. Slow clap for slow clap, everybody!